The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, and thank you for joining. I'm Trevin Martin, the Senior Marketing Manager here at Sigilant. Today's webcast is entitled Identify, Prioritize, and Remediate Vulnerabilities with SOCVue VPM. Our speakers today are Miguel de los Santos, a Solutions Engineer here at Sigilant, and Marcos Vinicius from Qualys, sitting in for Karun today. Karun had a conflict, so we're happy to have Marcos with us today. As a reminder, all attendees are in listen-only mode, so if you do have a question as we go through, please use the Q&A section of your GoToWebinar window, and we'll do our best to answer your questions at the end of the session. With that, I'll hand it over to Miguel.
All right, thank you, Trevin. And I would actually like to start off by thanking all of you for joining today's presentation on the SOCVue Vulnerability and Patch Management Service. And to give you a brief overview of what we will be talking about in this webinar. We will start off by discussing what vulnerability management is, why it's on everyone's mind, and why it should probably be on your mind as well. Then we will take a brief look at Sigilant's unique approach to addressing the issue via its combination of people, process, and technology. And then I'll hand it off to Marcus, who will provide us great insight into the Qualys Cloud, which is the industry-leading technology powering our vulnerability management service. And then we will drill down into vulnerability management life cycles and talk about specifically where the Sigilant service saves you both time and effort by integrating vulnerability management and patch management. Following, we would focus on the deployment of our service. And then lastly, we will conclude with a closer look at our SOCVue platform. Now, as we move into vulnerability management, I feel that we all understand that vulnerability management is not a new concept, but it is one that we have traditionally known to require a lot of due diligence and time to be successful. And honestly, that time is simply something that we do not have, regardless of the size of a team. If we were to consider what a vulnerability is, for us, it's really considering that it's a security exposure, increasing the threat landscape. From a product weakness that, honestly, we know that product developers did not intend to introduce, but unfortunately is something that is easily exploited. And once found, a vulnerability starts acting as an open door for attackers. The goal here is that once a vulnerability is initially discovered, a lot of effort is taken by different threat actors or a team of threat actors to go in and find a way to exploit that particular vulnerability. And once the exploit is found and shared online, to get into your system, it becomes as simple as downloading and running a script. This is why the time between the discovery and the remediation of a vulnerability is actually quite critical to security of any environment. In fact, vulnerability management is considered a top 5 security recommendation from the Center for Internet Security, or CIS. And they mention, and I quote, that organizations that do not scan and proactively address discovered flaws face a significant likelihood of having the computer systems compromised. And if we give that a moment to sink in, where does Sigilant come in with our SOCVue vulnerability and patch management service? Well, we realize that vulnerability management solutions out there are great and plenty, but we believe that the real security value can only be created by combining people, process, and technology. Again, eliminating those silos. Our vulnerability management service is powered by the Qualys Cloud technology, which we believe to be the best of its kind. The Qualys Cloud platform is manned by our 24/7 Security Operations Center, consisting of network and security specialists who become an extension of your team. Our SOC works closely with you to really get to know your environment and establish a proper vulnerability management process. Now, this is not limited to risk assessment, vulnerability scanning, vulnerability prioritization, remediation tracking, and definitely a good amount of reporting. Following that, we manage these processes through a workflow built into our SOCVue platform, which we will show later. Also, we unified vulnerability management with patch management, giving you an edge in a single pane of glass, allowing you to correlate those identified vulnerabilities with the available patches to address them immediately. also providing a cross-link to quickly and efficiently review the patches and even schedule them to be sent out in the next remediation window. Our patch management solution specifically provides an auditable change management workflow to provide further accountability and enhanced reporting. And now I would like to take a moment to pass it over to Marcus, who is going to say a few words about the Qualys technology.
Okay, guys, thank you all again. So Qualys is a cloud application security platform that enable customers to automate checks, including asset inventory, vulnerability management, policy compliance, PCI, file integrity monitoring, indication of compromise, and many other solutions. We can cover and collect data using the Qualys sensors across the entire network, including on-prem servers, network device, public cloud like Microsoft Azure and Amazon, and our mobile users. In terms of news and roadmap, we have announced at RSA 2 new products. The first one is SOCVue. With SOCVue, you can have full visibility of your public cloud inventory and workloads. And the second one was SOCVue, where customers can have full visibility of all their certificates and their configurations across enterprise and in the cloud. You guys can enable trial with your SOCVue sales rep, and it's free for visibility. We only charge customers to perform the vulnerability and control checks using those products. You can also find more information at qualys.com. Okay.
Thank you, Marcus. And I appreciate taking the time today with us during our presentation. And from here, I'd actually like to take a moment to discuss the process behind all those great tools and that great technology and how effective it is with a vulnerability management program. I find that Qualys best describes that with their vulnerability management lifecycle. And really, that's talking to discovery, prioritization of assets, assessment, reporting, and finally remediation. And those different stages within the vulnerability management lifecycle really allow you to start addressing it from the first step. And our SOC is going to help you throughout the whole entire process, right? With Qualys technology to run a discovery scan, the results can be easily used to map your network. From there, you're actually able to work with our team to determine the business value of each of your assets and allow you to group them accordingly. Most of us know that not every asset holds the same business value to the company. If you guys don't mind the quick anecdote, I'd like to compare a general workstation with a server running a database that stores all your credit card information, right? As you're leveraging our service, we all know that the compromise of either system is actually undesirable. But I think it's fair to say that the database breach will run a much greater and potentially business-ending impact on your company. So having that full visibility on your assets and mapping that prioritized and grouping them and allowing our SOC team to work with you to continuously leverage the Qualys vulnerability scanner and giving you the assessment of your environment. Now, through our unique partnership with Qualys, we are able to offer you unlimited vulnerability scans. We want to let that sink in for a second, right? Because it really provides you the flexibility in how, when, and what you're scanning. Our SOC team will provide recommendation. We are your security advisors on the optimal scanning process, and this ultimately translates to scanning weekly, monthly, or even daily. If you're interested in scanning a single asset, a group of assets, or all your assets at once. If you would like also ad hoc scans, we could do that at any time. A real-world example that we run into all the time is that folks tend to build servers and are ready to put it on the network. But certainly just doing that it could interrupt production. So we want to make sure that we scan that new server and give you full visibility into what vulnerabilities it may have. And on top of that, you can simply do that by creating a ticket in the SOCVue platform, emailing us, or giving us a call. And our SOC team would be more than happy to scan that machine for you. Now, if we were to move into the SOCVue platform, we provide a snapshot of your security posture. In fact, Sigilent has devised its own risk score, which reflects the overall vulnerability of your assets. And on top of that, it's something that you can report on as well. And we can provide you custom tailored reports to your specific business and your security requirements. These reports can range from high-level executive reports to super detailed vulnerability analyses. These reports are delivered via email, or you can just access them through the SOCVue platform, as can your team members. Our SOC uses tickets and reporting to provide remediation and guidance on vulnerabilities and questions you may have overall. They will tell you if and what exploits exist for a particular vulnerability, or whether the vendor has released a vulnerability on top of where you can find the vulnerability as well. Again, it's making your life even that easier. We integrated our patch management service, giving you that unified platform where you can easily locate and schedule those applicable patches for deployment within your environment from a single pane of glass. Once the vulnerabilities have been patched up, at the next scheduled scan or ad hoc scan, our SOCVue platform actually automatically removes those vulnerabilities from pending statuses or different statuses across the environment, allowing your team to keep on moving forward and not need to do any sort of backtracking. We encourage always that you take full advantage of our unlimited scanning offer. Now, I'd like to take the next step to talk about, how does our platform easily get up and running? Well, our team will work with you to install the lightweight Qualys virtual appliance on your network. And that scans your internal environment, sending the data to Qualys Cloud. We're also able to perform external scans. And as you heard mentioned earlier, did you know that Qualys is actually a ASV? And most of these scans can be used for PCI compliance as well. Now, the information that is sent to the Qualys Cloud is processed and sent to the SOCVue platform, where it becomes immediately available to you. The Sigilent or our SOC team will work within the Qualys Cloud to set up scans, schedule reports, and manage those assets for you. There's no need for you to use the Qualys platform at all. Our team takes care of everything. I would like now to take a look at the SOCVue platform to give you a bit more insight into our service. The platform basically serves as your own personal security operations center, as it's backed by our 24/7 SOC team. And from a 30,000-foot view, the dashboards act as a way to keep track of that security posture and of general vulnerability trends. For example, the number of critical vulnerabilities across your environment overall, or the average risk score, as you can see noted there. Looking here daily, though, helps keep track of what's happening in your environment, and it keeps you moving in a positive and more secure directions. And as always, if you have any questions of the data available, you can always reach out to our SOC team. As we take a moment to drill into the critical vulnerabilities, you can find all your data in one place. There's no need to do any further research. Everything is in a single pane of glass. I can easily dig into the vulnerability details here. I can see what research is available, click these links directly to the vendor, as well as any patches available for the given system. From here, I can also see any indicators as to whether a ticket has been created for your team or the SOC team. We always recommend to reach out to the team, again, if you have any questions about the data or any further details about a specific vulnerability. Also, under the reporting side, you will find detailed reporting that talks to, again, that range of high-level and executive reporting. And also, if you need any detailed custom reporting, we'd be more than happy to do that for you. As an example, a report can contain information about the vulnerabilities found in the last scan. You can also see external links to patches and even some exploits. I recommend if you wanted to do some penetration testing, this is a great way to start. And as always, if you need assistance from our SOC team regarding something not related to a specific vulnerability, you can easily click on the Contact SOC and reach out to us, and we'd be more than happy to help. Now, in conclusion, I'd like to say that Sigilent is actually pretty excited to offer you the unified vulnerability and patch management service. It is powered by Qualys technology and Sigilent's unique approach. Our mission is to guide you through the entire vulnerability management lifecycle, always being your security advisor. And in that process, saving you a whole bunch of time at a fraction of the cost.
Great, thanks, Miguel. Just a reminder that attendees are in listen-only mode, so if you do have questions for our speakers, please go ahead and use the Q&A tab in your GoToWebinar window now. It looks like we've got one question here. Does the Qualys technology address zero-day threats?
Yes, we have the Threat Protect solution that you guys can include as an add-on on the platform. We received zero-day information from third-party companies, and we also published some of the 0 days that the Qualys research team finds.
Great, thank you, Marcus. The next question, probably for Miguel, how does risk prioritization scoring work?
That's a great question, and I appreciate folks asking that. The risk score is actually a culmination of the detected time, the severity, the CVSS score, and as always, taking in consideration the asset value. And that's something that we work with you during the onboarding process. That way you always have input into what's key components within the environment.
Great, thanks, Miguel. The next question is, how would you handle a multi-site deployment?
That's actually a really great question. With our service, again, as your security advisor, our team would work with you to establish the best deployment path. We'd be more than happy to stand up multiple virtual appliances. If your environment is connected in a WAN setup, we'd be more than happy to figure out what paths are available to reach out to those devices. But certainly, that's something within the very common discussion during the onboarding process.
Thanks, Miguel. Let's see, it looks like the next question is, how would you track and report on time to resolution?
I'm glad you mentioned that. With our scorecards, we actually keep business level metrics like mean time to resolution, mean time to discovery, and that's fully available for patch management as well. So those key business level metrics are tracked for you, so you could then leverage that for the team to determine how effective the team is doing, and that's certainly something that we will work with you throughout the process to improve that business level KPI.
Great, thanks, Miguel. It doesn't look like there are any other questions, so this will conclude today's session. I do want to thank you all for joining, and thanks again to our speakers, Miguel de los Santos and Marcus Vinicius.
Thank you all.
Thank you all for joining today.